E.N.D here. Finally, spoiler season for Murders at Karlov Manor. The first murder mystery set have started. Let's have a look together what have been spoiled today. Spoiler alert, there are a couple of surprises. Let's start. And I want to start with one of the victims. Yes, there are more than one victim in this Murders at Karlov Manor. Teysa, opponent oligarch for 1 white and 1 black, 2-3 with death touch. At the beginning of your end step, investigate. For each opponent who lost life this turn. If you don't know how to play investigate, I did a tutorial explaining this particular mechanic, how it works. Whenever a clue you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. This ability triggers only once each turn. There's the normal version, there's the Ravnica City version, and obviously there's a serialized version. Now the turn of the culprit, Trostani 3 Whispers. Yes, Trostani are the culprit of these murders. For 1 hybrid mana between green and 1 white. 4/4. For 1 and 1 green, target creature gains death touch until end of turn. For 1 hybrid mana between green and white, target creature gains vigilance until end of turn. 2 and 1 white, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Normal version and Ravnica City version. But that's not all. There's also the dossier version, which some of them will have invisible ink. Notes by Alquist Proft. Aurelia's Vindicator, 2 and 2 white, 4/2, Flying Lifelink War 2, Disguise X3 and 1 white. When it is turned face up, exile up to X other target creatures from the battlefield and or creature cards from graveyards. When it leaves the battlefield, return the exile cards to their owner's hand. Etrata Deadly Fugitive for 1 blue and 1 black, 1/4 with death touch. Face down creatures you control have 2 1 blue and 1 black. Turn this creature face up. If you can't exile it, then you may cast the exile card without paying its mana cost. Whenever an assassin you control deals combat damage to an opponent, cloak the top card of that player's library. Massacre Girl Non Killer, 2 and 2 black, 4/4 with menace. Creatures you control have Wither. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, if its toughness was less than 1, draw a card. Algrus Cos Spirit of Justice for 2 1 red and 1 white, 2/4 with double strike and vigilance. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, choose up to 1 target creature. If it's suspected, exile it. Otherwise, suspect it. Kaya Spirit's Justice. Kaya will be the planeswalker of the set. For 2 1 white and 1 black, enters the battlefield with 3 loyalty counters. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control and or creature cards in your graveyard are put into exile, you may choose a creature card from among them. Until end of turn, target token you control becomes a copy of it except it has flying. +2, surveil 2, then exile a card from a graveyard. +1, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. -2, exile target creature control. For each other player, exile up to 1 target creature that player controls. Normal version and the borderless version. The land cycle, the survey lands. All of them enters the battlefield tapped. All of them tap for 2 colors. All of them have enters the battlefield survey 1. And all of them have 2 basic land type. Meaning that they are fetchable and perfect for domain. Keelan Inquisitive Prodigy. It seems that Keelan is all over the multiverse. 2 1 green and 1 blue, 3/4 with adventure. Tail the suspect for 1 green and 1 blue. Sorcery. Investigate. You may play an additional land this turn. Flying Vigilance. Whenever it attacks, destroy up to 1 target artifact. If you control that permanent, draw a card. Kylox Visionary Inventor, 5 1 blue and 1 red, 4/4, Menace War 2 Haste. When it attacks, sacrifice any number of other creatures, then exile the top X cards of your library, where X is their total power. You may cast any number of instant and or sorcery spells from among the exile cards without paying their mana cost. Krenko Baron of Tin Street for 2 and 1 red, 3/3 with haste. Tap, sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on each goblin you control. Whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay 1 red. If you do, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. It gains haste until end of turn. Ideal for treasures. Izoni Center of the Web, 4 1 black and 1 green, 5/4 with menace. Enters the battlefield or attacks, you may collect evidence for. If you do, create 2 2/1 black and green spider creature tokens with menace and reach. Sacrifice 4 tokens, surveil 2, then draw 2 cards. You gain 2 life. Tolsimir, Midnight's Light, 2-1 green and 2 white, 3-2 with lifelink, enters the battlefield, create Voya, a legendary 5-5 green and white wolf creature token with trample. Whenever a wolf you control attacks, if Tolsimir attacked this combat, target creature an opponent controls blocks that wolf this combat if able. Case of the Ransack Lab. Case will be a new enchantment type, very similar to Saga, but very different in how it works. 2 and 1 blue. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. To solve you have to cast 4 or more instant and sorcery spells this turn, and when it's solved, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card. Enchantment Case doesn't leave the battlefield unless it's destroyed. Another case, Case of the Filch Falcon for 1 blue. When this case enters the battlefield, investigate. To solve it, you control 3 or more artifacts. Solved, 2 and 1 blue. Sacrifice it, put 4+1/+1 counters on target non-creature artifact. It becomes a 0/0 bird creature with flying in addition to its other types. X-Bane Ferox for 2 and 2 green, 4/4 with Death Touch and Haste. Ward, collect Evidence 4. Evidence 4 means whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter it unless that player exile cards with total mana value 4 or greater from their graveyard. War Leader's Call for 1/1 red and 1 white. Enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. There's the regular version and there's the Showcase Magnified version. A Killer Among Us, 4 and 1 green. Enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human creature token, a 1/1 blue merfolk creature token, and a 1/1 red goblin creature token. Then secretly choose human, merfolk, or goblin. Sacrifice it. Reveal the chosen creature type. If target attacking creature token is the chosen type, put 3+1/+1 counters on it and it gains Death Touch until end of turn. Deadly Complication for 1/1 black and 1 red. Sorcery, choose one or both. Destroy target creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on target suspected creature you control. You may have it become no longer suspected. Branch of Vitogazi, land. Tap for 1 colorless mana. Disguise 3. When it is turned face up, add 2 mana of any color until end of turn. You don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. Scene of the Crime, Artifact Land Clue. Enters the battlefield tapped. Tap to add 1 colorless mana. Tap and untap creature control. Add 1 mana of any color. 2. Sacrifice it. Draw a card. Auspicious Arrival for 1 and 1 white. Instant. Target creature get +2/+2 until end of turn. Investigate. So that was the last card in this particular day 1 of the spoilers of Murders at Karlov Manor. Join me tomorrow for more and more spoilers and surprises about this murder mystery set. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.